So today we're going to be opening up this commander deck and I'm going to be showing you guys what is inside. So I'm going to be doing this relatively quickly because I don't want like a super long video. So if you see a card you want to stop and read, then feel free to pause the video. So it comes with the deck box right here. Let's quickly assemble this. I'm not too sure how often people actually use this, but there you go, deck box. All right, let's get the rest of this out here. Got that, set that aside. Then we have the deck itself. Let's break into it here. All right, breaking through the bottom. Struggling a little bit, and I'm kind of getting over a cold, so if I have some random like throat clears here and there or some actual coughing, that is what is happening with me. Okay, let's crack this here. Struggling a lot more than I thought it would be, but here we go. All right. Tossing that on the floor. Okay, so here we have the main commander here. 3-drop, it's a 2/3 creature. Elemental spells you cast from your hand have invoke 4. If you cast a spell for its invoke cost, it's sacrificed when it enters. When you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that is a copy of it. The token gains haste until end of turn. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice it unless you pay 1 of each color. Ooh, that's going to be a tall order. It's going to be rough to get. You know, just working up the ramp for all of your mana base. All right, the general, the backup commander, is a 5-drop, 1 of each color. It is a 5/5. First strike, vigilance, trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target elemental you control gains mirrored. Not too familiar with that mechanic. Until end of turn, I am a newer player. When it attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token copy that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. Exile the tokens at end of combat. So it doesn't even make it to the main phase 2, which is interesting. All right, so we're just going to be going through the rest of these here. Ooh, this one's a fun one though. Okay, so 2 green, X. When this enchantment enters, create X 1/1 colorless shapeshifter tokens with changeling, or every creature type. Creature tokens you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color. This is gonna go in my Bellow token deck. I'm gonna set that one aside. So it's gonna be going through the rest of these here, because I've done these in the past, and like I have a way of just reading a bunch of cards and it just becomes like a 10-minute long video, and I'm trying to make you guys sit through that today. So if you see any cards that are interesting to you, Fury, okay. When this enters, it deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures or planeswalkers. And it has double strike, 5-drop. I feel like I need to take that for another deck. All right, let's just keep going here. The art style of this set is pretty fantastic, I think. Even though I don't do a bunch of stuff with elementals, I do have a Bellow deck, which I might steal a couple of these cards from this deck here and just throw it in there. Ooh, this is 3, wow, 7-drop, has landfall, it's a 5/5. When a land you control enters, create a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token. Wow, okay. Whenever this or another elemental you control dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. This could be good for the Bellow deck too. Yeah, I don't mean to just be breaking apart this whole deck or anything. Ooh, this is good. Timeless Lotus, it's a 5-drop, enters tapped, tap it to add 1 of each color. So that's a pretty solid artifact for the ramp. So realistically, the sooner you get this out, the better. You just tap it and then you just be able to access all 5 colors. It is a great card. Okay, so let's just keep cycling through here. I saw that there was only a couple rare lands that we had already passed. That was really quick. You would think they would have more rare lands in a 5-color deck. This is why I typically don't run 5-color, just because getting the land base that you need, it's really tricky. A lot of mana fixing and, you know, sacking your lands to search for the right lands, which I'm sure we'll be finding those, like Evolving Wilds. It has like a staple removal in here too. Reality Shift, this is good. A creature manifests top of their card of the library. But yeah, the art style is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cute and terrifying at the same time. Look at that just back there. Soul Ring. Ooh, that's a neat looking Soul Ring. Got your command tower, Signet. Let's see. This is good. When it enters and you control a creature of power 4 or greater, you draw a card. Every creature you control has trample. Whenever a creature you control power 4 or greater enters, you draw a card. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Okay, you got your typical mana rock. Cycling through. Okay, yeah, a bunch of tap lands. This is what I was seeing online. So you're going to be like a turn behind most of the other players, assuming you're playing Commander. I mean, it's a Commander deck, but you know, it's not ideal to be going slow. But I've heard from my friends that have used this deck that, you know, once you get established, it's pretty fun to play. That's what I've heard. So I have to do some play testing myself just to see if it's worth keeping it the way it is. I'm sure I'll have to upgrade the lands at some point. The rest are basic lands. And you got your copies here, copy tokens, treasure swapping, just more copies, everything like that. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't usually run 5 colors, so I'm curious to see how this goes with playtesting, but I think the art style of this set is pretty cool, and if you're looking for a Commander deck, then I would highly recommend checking this out.